And in 2013, I was right about the age that I should have a midlife crisis and do something daring and different. And a missionary in Haiti who was a music teacher invited me to come teach to play guitar in Haiti for a week. And I was like, this is it, I have to do it. But it meant getting on a plane, not only one plane, but two planes. Thankfully, they were short. I'd like to say it was the two grown men that were making the trip with me, holding my hands, that got me through it. But I think it was also the wine and the Xanax. So that combination gave me the guts to go to Haiti. And we got there, we had to drive about an hour and a half south, which actually 90 miles south, which took like 4 hours in Haiti, to get to this little town called Paz-Boisdam of 300 people and stay in this town without electricity. And we slept in the music school. And then the next morning I got up, it was before dawn. And I looked up on the music building, which is probably about the height of maybe your average convenience store, like a little bigger than a house garage. And there was a ladder going up to it and a tent. And I said, what's the tent up there for? And the missionary said, oh, it's the sunrise is phenomenal. And sometimes the kids in the school sleep on the roof to get up to see the sunrise. It was still twilight, so it hadn't risen yet. I already conquered my fear of flying. So I'm like, you know what? I got to conquer this fear of heights. I got to go up that ladder and see this sunrise. So I climbed up, and you know how it is. If anybody has a fear of heights, the higher you go, the woozier you get. So I'm like 3 steps from the top, and I'm like, I got to come down real fast or I got to go up real fast. So I just gave it my all, grabbed the ledge of the building and pulled myself and jumped over the top onto the roof of this building. Now, building codes in Haiti are different than they are in the United States, in so much as they probably don't exist. So whatever non-existent building code, builders, whatever missed, my leg caught, which was a 6-inch piece of rusty rebar right into my lower right leg. And I looked down, it hurt. I knew immediately I was in trouble. My blue and white sleep pants were now red from like the knee down. And I gasped and I was in shock, but not because of what just happened. True story, let's rewind to a week before I left. You have to go to a special work medical center to get shots when you're going to a third world country. So I had to get 3 shots, out of pocket cost. And it was totaling about $300 some for me. And then the nurse looked at me and said, when was your last tetanus shot? And I said, oh, I know this. I stepped on a belt buckle in my room because I never pick up my clothes and I got a tetanus shot. Was it more than 10 years ago? No, it wasn't. It was like 96. No, it was like 2004. Back and forth in my head. I'm just like, you know what? I'm already paying all this money. No, I'm not getting a tetanus shot. Thank you very much. And then she says, okay, so then we'll get the malaria, we'll get the whatever. And I said, yep. And I shit you not, she got up and something in my gut, I don't know if it was the voice of Jesus, Zeus, or Quentin Tarantino, said, get the effing tetanus shot. So I stopped her and I said, you know what, just grab the tetanus shot. And she turned to me and she said, that's a good idea. And it turned out it was. Now, thankfully, the missionary climbs up on the roof, fast forward back to the roof, covered in blood. He says, oh, there's a doctor in the hills that can sew this up for you. Now, I don't know about you, but the words doctor in the hills in a third world country was not really comforting. So fortunately, by luck, my cohort that came to Haiti with me was a med student, and he butterflied it up. And I still have the scar there. Proudly display it to anybody who wants to see it. Missed the sunrise. This was all going on. But that's not my favorite Haiti story, because at the end of the week, it had not rained all week. It had been 100 degrees. And every day, the people from this village, the kids from this school, have to go get water from the well in these 5-gallon jugs. They put it on a Red Ryder wagon and wheel it to the well. And we realized we had been there a full week and had not been to the well. It had not rained all week. We loaded up the bottles, went with the kids to the well. And I kid you not, when we got to the well, the skies opened up. It was a spiritual experience. It was beautiful. Which brings me to this. Like, all the great myths, all the great stories, they have blood and guts, right? Like all the spiritual traditions, the blood of Jesus, the Passover blood on the door. And in a simpler way, like Buddhism talks about how suffering is just essential to life. So I guarantee you all have blood stories, and they they inform. I mean, no good transformation doesn't come without some sort of blood and gut stories, all the myths, right? All the legends, all the religious stories. So I hope all of you have the guts collectively to just get through any blood that might be shed and get to that great awakening. Thanks, guys.